Evil in 007's world, the villain. The villains. Now, Sanchez is a much more believable villain that's gone before. Do you think the villains have changed over the years? Is this...
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's a drug baron, isn't he? It's an actual threat to...
Yes. I mean, I think it's important. You've always got to keep a film relevant. I mean, Bond is playtime for grown-ups. It's for everybody who's got that, you know, who wants to be involved in fantasy and use their imagination and get caught up in something that's exciting. But it's important to keep the stories relevant and current and up to date. The more we stretch the probable, the more we've got to be linked to what is, I think. And Robert, who does play this drug baron, I think it's an extraordinary performance.
What did he promise you? His heart? Give her his heart.
No.
I play this Colombian drug lord. These guys, Fortune magazine did an article on them, and they make $8 billion a year. They are some of the most powerful men in the world. This story is taken out of the back pages of today's newspapers. If Shakespeare were alive, he'd be writing about Fran Sanchez instead of Richard III of Macbeth.
Well-traveled man. You did all right at the tables tonight.
I had the feeling my luck was about to change.
Well, it's the wise gambler who knows when his luck is run out.
What happens is a friend of Bond's is in pursuit of myself, and, or I should say my character, because I'm quite lovely, but he's in pursuit of this character. And because of that, our paths cross.
Why this?
In my business, you prepare for the unexpected.
And what business is that?
I help people with problems.
Problem solver.
I'm more of a problem eliminator.
I take Bond in my confidence, and he comes into my world, sees a bit about what that is about.
And now you're here on business?
No, temporarily unemployed. I thought I might find work here.
I find out that he's not all he says he was.
Your monthly delivery will be by ocean-going tanker. We'll send our chief chemist along to supervise the reconversion process.
You keep the gas as a bonus. And if there's a problem with customs, no evidence.
Come on, hurry! I know him! He's an informer!
You disappoint me. Who are you working for? Huh? Tell me.
When you look at the gallery of previous Bond villains, starting with Joseph Weisman, Robert Shaw, and Lottie Lenya, Kurt Frobe, Yaphet Kotto, Telly Savalas, Christopher Walken, and on. It's a nice, interesting group of people to be involved with.
I would have said the previous best villain in a Bond movie was Kurt Frobe in Goldfinger.
I think you've made your point, Goldfinger. Thank you for the demonstration.
Choose your next witticism carefully, Mr. Bond. It may be your last. The purpose of our two previous encounters is now very clear to me. I do not intend to be distracted by another. Good night, Mr. Bond.
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Yes, those bad guys have their own interesting weaponry hardware, just as Bond has his. The funny thing is how 007 manages to wind up turning the villain's gadgets against them. Poor Mr. Teehee in Live and Let Die, for instance, gets hit by a train because Bond locks his vice-clamp mechanical arm on a bar. The great Jaws gets shocked through his own metal teeth, just as Oddjob dies from a jolt through his deadly steel bowler hat, all thanks to 007's quick reactions. But there's no touching the high-tech equipment that Her Majesty's Q branch provides the 00 team. And there's nothing quite like the fever-pitch, cliff-hanging moments when Bond so handily puts them to life-saving use. In a tradition just as famous as the beautiful women and sinister villains, the tools of Bond's trade are the stuff of folklore.
Now, pay attention, please. Windscreen bulletproof, as are the side and the rear windows. Revolving number plates, naturally. Valid all countries. Here's a nice little transmitting device called a Homer. You prime it by pressing that back like this. You see? The smaller model is now standard feel issue, to be fitted into the heel of your shoe. Its larger brother is magnetic. Right. To be concealed in the car you're trailing while you keep out of sight. Reception on the dashboard here. Audio visual, range 150 miles.
Ingenious and useful too. Allow a man to stop off for a quick one en route.
It has not been perfected out of years of patient research entirely for that purpose, 007. And incidentally, we'd appreciate its return, along with all your other equipment. Intact for once when you return from the field.
Oh, you'd be surprised the amount of wear and tear that goes on out there in the field. Anything else?
Well, I won't keep you for more than an hour or so if you give me your undivided attention. We've installed some rather interesting modifications. You see this arm here? Now open the top and inside are your defense mechanism controls. Smoke screen, oil slick, rear bulletproof screen, and left and right front wing machine guns. Now this one I'm particularly keen about. You see the gear lever here? Now if you take the top off, you'll find a little red button. Whatever you do, don't touch it.
Now, why not?
Because you'll release this section of the roof and engage and fire the passenger ejector seat. Whoosh.
Ejector seat? You're joking.
I never joke about my work, 007.
Desmond Llewellyn, who's got a terrific part in this movie. I mean, I think it's one of the best roles he's had in a Bond movie, because you know he wants to get out on the street and do it and help and get stuck in. And I mean, he brings a little bag, but it's a vital little bag.
Really, 007? Q, what the hell are you doing here? I might have killed you.
Well, I'm on leave. Thought I'd pop round and see how you're getting on.
You all right?
Yes, of course I'm all right.
How'd you find me?
Well, Moneypenny, of course. She's worried sick about you.
This is no place for you, Q. Go home.
Oh, don't be an idiot, 007. I know exactly what you're up to, and quite frankly, you're going to need my help. Remember, if it hadn't been for Q branch, you'd have been dead long ago. Everything for a man on holiday. Explosive alarm clock, guaranteed never to wake up anybody who uses it. Dentonite toothpaste, to be used sparingly. It's the latest in plastic explosive.
I could do with some plastic.
I thought there might be a mess to clean up.
Pam, this is Q, my uncle. Uncle, this is Miss Kennedy. My cousin.
Ah, we must be related.
How do you do?
Without the things he brings, the story couldn't, in fact, happen. Bond wouldn't be able to accomplish what he has to accomplish. So there are gadgets, but it's not swamped with gadgets. It isn't swamped with gadgets, and it shouldn't be, really. I mean, it's nice to have gadgets. I like gadgets.
All right, sit down and make yourself comfortable.
Now, whatever you do, don't press that little red button, because after this break, I'll be right back with the scoop on the Licence to Kill title music, the film's Gala World premiere in London, and more. Keep it here. Back again, Bond, Cokes and MTV with our Licence to Kill special. Now, so far we've seen some crucial elements to any James Bond episode, including stunning women, breathtaking stunts and tricks, and very bad guys. In fact, we often see all of these Bondisms in the first minutes after the curtains open, before we get to another of the great 007 trademarks, the opening credit sequence. That's, of course, the part where we see all of those silhouetted women float in space and water to the rhythm of a new and sweeping theme song, setting the pace and mood for the big adventure that lies ahead. Since Monty Norman's composition of the legendary Bond theme tune, the pantheon of Bond title artists has included Shirley Bassey, Tom Jones, Carly Simon, Duran Duran, Aha, and now a soul chanteuse supreme. Gladys Knight has her Licence to Kill. Now, we could do a whole show just on these great songs over the years. Maybe we will, but in the meantime, here's a selection culled from the recent era when the Bond theme songs became megabuck pop hit singles.
Meeting you with a view to a kill, face to face in secret places, feel the chill.